Oh, welcome back to my series where I kind of take you behind the scenes of my favorite spots that people have gotten married and kind of explain to you how things happen logistically so that you can get your own inspiration for your own wedding. I feel like I started our video out by saying like, "Oh, this is one of my favorites," but it's so gorgeous out here and it's easy to have a lot of favorites. But when I tell you this is one of my favorite wedding venues that allows you to have a more traditional wedding, this is one of my favorite venues. This venue checks a lot of boxes. It checks on-site lodging for you and your support system. So if you want your guests to have an experience where they just stay and you don't have to worry about Ubers, it's nearby hotels as well, where you can get a hotel block and people can stay there. As of right now, in August of 25, they are working on installing tree houses that people can stay in. So you have a little bit of a pull to an experience. And it's also a spot where you can have everything on site. So reception and cocktail hour and your ceremony and getting ready, everything can happen all at once. And it's also a space that you can rent the entire weekend, which makes it super easy for cleanup and setup. Aaliyah and Ashley are actually the owners of Juniper Mountain House. So it is woman owned and it is queer owned. And we love that. The location that they're in, they're nestled in the foothills. So you're going to have mountain views, but you're also going to be in the pine trees, which is really, really lovely. And it smells amazing. And it's also very quiet. It's also a place you might see some wildlife while you stay, which is very fun. Aaliyah and Ashley have the process of having a wedding on their property down to a science. They even include a planner with their venue rental. So when you rent with them, when you rent their space and you rent the ceremony space, you are also going to get access to all of their recommended vendors. So it's really like an all-inclusive experience for you. As I keep blabbing about how amazing this place is, I want to make sure that I have time to take you through the behind the scenes of what this looks like. But what I'm about to show you is a little bit of a non-traditional wedding because it was a surprise wedding for one of the partners getting married. Felicia and Val, I have actually known for a while, and they hired me for their wedding, but Val didn't know anything about it. Felicia reached out to me and they had gotten married years ago. And they got married in a style that was more about just the legal documentation rather than the celebration. So they never got a chance to celebrate with their friends and family. So Felicia staged their wedding as a styled shoot because I have asked them to model for me a few times on photo work that I want to do, and I just need a couple to make it happen. They've done this several times, so it was not weird. And we threw Val completely off. She did not know that for the last year we'd been planning this wedding together. So I was teaming up with Felicia to go to meetings, meet up and talk about the wedding. I was her right-hand person throughout all of this, which was really fun for me. Once we hired Juniper Mountain House, McArthur Events came in and helped us along the way as well and helped navigate what this looks like realistically so that Val is completely in the dark about everything. They hired Growing Wild Florals to do jewel tone-esque florals for the area. So this is the ceremony space that they have for you at Juniper. This is the reception space that they have. And the reception space opens up to the pine trees as well as the mountain view and is also hooked up to a lounge area. So it's kind of an indoor-outdoor situation. We started out by having them get ready together, and they were actually getting ready. While they were getting ready together, it was really funny because Val looked at me at one point and was like, this would be a really nice place to say our vows. It'd be a really nice place to have our celebration whenever we have that. And me and Felicia just hooked eyes and we are like, yeah, that would be really nice. Glad you love it. So anyway, Amanda's bridal really came through with Val's suit here. They had just gotten this beautiful deep teal green color in, and we knew that would look amazing on Val. So that's what Felicia chose for Val to wear. And Val just thought that she was modeling the suit, but it was actually her suit and it was fitted and Felicia had bought it for her. So we did some posing at their reception space, and inside they're getting ready. And then I was like, let's go do photos out at the ceremony space. So we walked out to the ceremony space. And this is the moment that Val realized that all of her friends and family were waiting at the ceremony space for them. And Felicia and I couldn't have breathed harder, like a breath of relief. Like we were just like, okay, we did it. Val was surprised. We're going to keep going with this. It was really, really cute. So all their friends and family were there, and we did photos at the ceremony space, after the ceremony space, got some family photos at their ceremony space. And you'll see that their ceremony space is along this trail. There's two trails. There's a trail that goes from the house, the Juniper Mountain House, out to the ceremony space. And there's a trail that goes up from the parking lot. We made all of their guests go up from the parking lot so that Val did not see anything happening from inside the house. Here's a better view of what their reception space looks like. So you'll see this is like the indoor to the lounge area. So it's an indoor-outdoor situation, but this is one of the rooms. So some of the rooms have like private areas where you can go off of the room and hang out at. You cannot access this area unless you've rented this room, which is really cool. So they had their reception. They had a private space where they could just gather their nerves, and Val could be like, holy crap, I can't believe you did that to me. And then they had speeches out at the reception space, and that's also where they decided to dance. In this gallery, I wanted to make sure that I captured the surprise of it all, but I also wanted to make sure that I was showing off how well Juniper Mountain House is set up for something that's intimate, high-end, gives way to that Colorado mountain vibe, with a lot of wood, with the views, but in a high-end way. Aaliyah and Ashley do an amazing job at setting up this area, guiding us through the process, also making sure that things look nice. Like, this is a house. This is a B&B. You can rent this at any time. You can go there for a night if you wanted to. So that's great advice that I would have for you, is to maybe go there and stay there one night and see how you like the layout of the area without having to commit to the wedding venue itself. So something that Val and Felicia prioritized, obviously Felicia was like, we need to have like space in between the ceremony space so that I can surprise Val. That was a major thing. But she also wanted the areas that were designated to certain times of the wedding day. So they did have a cocktail hour that happened in front of the house, actually, and they had yard games. And that happened while we were taking photos, while we were taking family photos, and they had drink area set up. Aaliyah and Ashley also have really, really great partnerships with these different vendors that have come into their space and have it down to a science. So everything was set up. We really didn't have to worry about anything because McArthur Events really just takes the lead on a lot of things so you can enjoy your wedding day. I think that this is a perfect wedding ceremony spot for couples who want to give their guests maybe a Colorado experience of truly being in the woods and being in the pine trees and having the mountain views, but also not compromising on a really, really nice lodging option and a very nice, well done, put together wedding. This is truly a perfect venue location for any engaged couples that are looking to give their guest or their support system a Colorado experience, have lodging on site, a more inclusive experience where you can book this venue and they're going to hook you up with everything else that you need, as well as not compromising the vibes. Because a lot of the venues here in Colorado, they're kind of, I'm careful to describe them. Sometimes they're too mountainy, they're too log cabiny. So if you're looking for something more on the higher end without having to worry about what's going to happen or worry about the setup and breakdown, Juniper Mountain House has everything that you need. I do have special packages for Juniper Mountain House specifically because it is such an easy place for me to work that I feel like I'm going on vacation myself when I go there to photograph. So if you're looking at the Juniper Mountain House and you are like, I really want a photographer that enjoys working there and doesn't feel like you're hiring a photographer that doesn't know their way around the venue or know how to work well with other like-minded vendors. Hello, I would love to work for you. So what you want to do is you want to email me directly and just say, hey, I'm looking into the Juniper Mountain House. I would love to look at your specific packages for Juniper Mountain House. Don't forget to include your possible wedding date. If you don't have a date already, it's okay. We can correlate our schedules and see what works best. I'm happy to do that. A lot of couples do because they're like, hey, we'd like to come out whenever. And they have freedom to do that. So we can correlate our schedules, but just send me an email and say, hey, I'm looking to the Juniper Mountain House. I watched your YouTube video. I looked at your gallery. I want to hear more about this special package. So don't forget to do that. And don't forget to share this video with your partner because you got to make sure that you're on the same page here. Make sure that they see it and then send me that email when you're ready.